Hi, James.
Hey all, good evening. Can you guys hear me?
Good evening.
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Yes.
Awesome. All right, give me 2 minutes and let's see if we're waiting on who. Looks like we have most of us in the car on the call. Cool. We can get started in 30 seconds. I'm just trying to set up my laptop. Were you all able to set up your Teams access?
No.
No.
Yeah, I did. I mean, I could access Microsoft Teams and the file that you have uploaded, right? Is that the one that you're asking for?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to check that if you guys are able to access Teams or not right now. I think we need to learn how to use Teams. That is the tool that every company uses most likely in the office. So we need to understand how to use Teams. And as part of this class, when you are going to go through assignments and check my messages, you'll automatically know how to use Teams.
I have to say something. Can you like when you send the email, can you not use the same thread? Like when you like today's recording, can you send like in another email?
Oh, you mean edit subject line edit?
Yeah, it will be better.
Yes.
That's why we lost the whole thing. So
Okay.
I do it too. Yeah.
That's fine. I can do that.
And,
And I think
yeah.
I think that may not be even required anymore because all my communications will be in Teams going forward. So it should be all good. But I took your point. I think that's a good idea. Change the subject line whenever I'm sending you guys email. That makes complete sense.
I think the problem with Teams I had was creating groups, in the sense that I don't know whether we can create groups if somebody has not accepted Teams, and to have a real-time document like kind of Google Docs. I don't know if that is possible on
That is
Teams.
possible. That is possible. I have to just
Okay.
enable permissions for you all. But
Okay.
I first at least wanted to make sure that you guys are able to log in and set up your account. It's not easy to use Teams in the beginning, but once you start using it, then it becomes pretty easy. So, but this is the tool that people uses in the office. So we absolutely want to get ourselves familiar with this one.
Did you send the link for the team or?
Yes, just give me 1 minute. I'm trying to log into my own Teams. I just created a new ID for myself. I'm finding that ID, or I'm trying to find out that ID for myself too.
James, can you create a WhatsApp group for all of us so that will be easy?
That's why I'm not creating WhatsApp group, because I want you guys to use Teams. I've seen not huge success with WhatsApp. I think we just keep messaging each other. There is no documents, nothing. In Teams, you can reply to a specific message, to a specific document if you have to. And we need to learn this, guys. If you need to find a job, we need to learn this too. There is no escape from this, right? Hence,
Okay, go ahead. I have a question for you. Is this class also recorded, the interview class? Because I don't have the link from the previous class.
it is recorded as well.
But I did not get it.
Okay, I'll forward that to you.
Okay.
I think I might have forgot. Let me. Okay, I think I found my access.
Yeah, you already said that. You work in an old folks home, don't you?
So in every class, I try to do something new, and this Teams idea is a new idea, and I feel it is pretty powerful, because I do get a lot of questions from my students after they get the job, that how to use Microsoft Teams and how to set up meetings and all. So I really want to first show you guys how to schedule the meetings today, how to use Teams, be familiar with it, because for our next class, it will be super, super helpful. And while I'm doing that, any questions from our previous class? No questions?
I'm one class behind, but I did get your email for the video, which I procrastinated a little this week, so I'm probably gonna watch it tonight.
Yes, and watch it. And if you have any questions, you can always message me on that, and we can go from there. So,
Okay.
how are you guys working on your assignments? I did not see you guys collaborating. I think there were some emails going back and forth, but I'm not sure if all of you are caught up or not.
I have not. I emailed everybody in my team, but haven't got any response except from Nisha, I believe. That's the only person reply back.
Does that mean that you are doing your own assignments?
Are we doing our own, or like we 3 people are getting together?
That was the plan, but I did not see any collaboration happening, or I did not see anything happening on that front.
Okay, I'll organize with.
Yeah, I noticed us 3 are in a team, Shrey and Savneet and me. So like I'm I'm available all day tomorrow, and I apologize
For Microsoft
that we
Teams.
had teams and an assignment due. So
Yeah, let's do it tomorrow. I'm okay with tomorrow.
You want to pick a time?
Yeah, I just signed up for Microsoft Teams, and if you guys want to get in.
okay, and I'm available anytime in the morning before noon, and like in the evening after 4 p.m.
It's asking me
Do after 4. I don't mind.
questions as well.
Yeah. After 4 would be good.
Okay, yeah, me too. That'll be good.
5? Let's do 4. 4. 4 is fine.
Yeah, that works for me.
Okay, 4. 4 is fine.
Okay.
Okay, let me park this for a minute. I think it's asking me to set up some security questions for Teams to log in again, but I'll probably come back to that. Let's probably focus on the interview session. I wanted to cover one of the important questions today with you all, and I wanted someone to repeat that with me after I'm done answering that question. So the biggest question that we always get is, tell me about yourself. Or another flavor of that would be, hey, what were you doing at your recent project? That's the second question, kind of hinting towards tell me about yourself. Third would be, for what was the role in waterfall environment? So there could be multiple ways people can frame this exact same question, and we want to make sure that we need to understand that this we need to grasp this, that hey, this is how exactly we have to answer this question. So tell me about yourself. Again, why do we choose to tell about waterfall or agile? There are 2 different answers to this. If we are applying for a job which is requiring agile mindset, then we're going to talk about the agile framework. But if it's a job where we are talking about the like they've mentioned about the business requirements document, functional requirements document, most likely it is waterfall. That is how you can understand. If they're talking about user stories, that means it's all agile. If they're talking about BRD or FRD, it is all waterfall. So depending on where we are applying, our tell me about yourself story will change. It can only have 2 flavors. Either we are going to give waterfall answer or the agile answer. Agile answer we are not yet ready, because we are going to cover in the class this weekend, and we are going to go from there. So waterfall, I'll quickly walk you through how to answer that waterfall thing. So this is how the interview tone will be. Hey James, we were looking at your resume. We are excited to share our company's information and learn more about you. Can you help me understand what you're up to right now, or probably just a glimpse on where you are? So this is how I will answer that. Okay. Yes, recording is on. Okay. So this is how I will answer this. So I'll just pick on someone's name. So, hey, Revant, thank you for calling me. And I'm really glad that we are able to connect this week to discuss more about this position. Let me walk you through my current experience. I have about 12 years of business analysis experience. I've worked in several domains, which includes mortgage, financial industries, which includes social media campaigns and whatnot. At my recent project where I was working, we were creating a project from in the waterfall environment, and most of my responsibilities were in the beginning to help my project manager, helping him with the project charter, creating the project charter and scope document, understanding who are the stakeholders involved, what kind of business success metrics we have. Once we really got a good handle on that, I started working with the other stakeholders at my company who were subject matter expert, and they kind of helped me understand the entire project. And I had a lot of questions for them. We had like several meetings going back and forth, and after that we started creating the business requirements document. So my key deliverables when I was working with them were creating business requirements document, creating functional requirements document, creating mock-ups, creating process flows, creating as is and to be process flows, performing gap analysis and whatnot, right? And this is just a list of documents that we have created so far. There are like several more types of documents that I've created other than this. And once these documents were created, I was working with my technical team to help them create the design, technical architecture, and with my designers to create the actual high fidelity designs for my project. And after that was completed, I was heavily involved along with my testing team to perform the user acceptance testing, to perform the smoke testing, helping them identifying the defects, what are the defects, prioritizing defects and whatnot. And at the end, after all this thing was done for the project I was working on, I finally worked with my release manager to line up the launch, like the implementation for the entire project, and performing, giving several trainings to the internal stakeholders of the company and creating some user guides. Thereon, I was constantly monitoring the performance of the product that we have delivered using some matrices, and constantly looking at the places where we can evolve and improve on our product and go in the same cycle. So that's what my role was while working at Sun Company. So if you see, I have not done anything different than what we learned in the class for waterfall. Why? There are two reasons for this. So if you see, again, I'm following the methodology of STAR: situation, task, action, and result, right? What was the situation? We were working on a project in a waterfall environment. What was the task? We had to create some documents and we had to launch the product, right? What was my role? I've gone into very detail about what was my role in each and every phase. And then the last was we launched the project, and I was constantly monitoring that to improvise on the product. Now, why do I choose this cycle? I had tried several different types of answers in the last 8 years while working with so many students. This one is the best answer at a level where you guys are going to start. And the reason is everyone in the industry knows how software development lifecycle works. So when you're talking, you're automatically able to connect with that person, right? That person understands how the flow is going in, how the flow is going through. But you're not using the word waterfall again and again in the industry, like in the interview. All you're going to say, this is how I was functioning in my previous job. The language is a little different. This is how I was functioning in my previous job, as opposed to, hey, this is how waterfall works. This is how I've heard about waterfall. We're not going to talk about those things. Make sense? So we have 5 to 6 phases in waterfall. Questions, Shrey?
You saying instead of using the waterfall term, we can just define the waterfall itself.
Yes, entire define. Just at my previous project when I was working so closely with my project manager because we had to create the project scope document, and we had to talk to some initial stakeholders, assess the feasibility of the project, create some high level process flow diagrams, and then we started creating the business requirements document. So you see, I have not used even phases like initial phase, design phase, development phase, testing phase, or implementation phase. I'm not even using that, but I'm still going in the same order, right? Yeah. Right now I'm describing my responsibility as opposed to describing waterfall. And when you talk, as I said in the interview, when you start talking, person should follow you from starting to end, period. If the person is lost anywhere in between, then it's not a good way that you answer that question, right? So because everyone knows waterfall so well, when you go in this order, you will directly connect with them. that, hey, this is the flow. And without you telling them, they will know that, hey, oh, in my company, we do this. Oh, this is how this person functions, right? So what you've done, you have clarified your responsibility in each phase, step by step. Otherwise, I could have talked about testing first, then I could have talked about development, and then I could have talked about the requirement gathering. But you see, my mind will go here and there when I'm talking with some person, right? So this has worked really, really well. We have placed, I think, at least I remember to my knowledge, I have placed more than 250 students by now. Most of them have not failed with this answer. And they were able to really sell through their thoughts because we are using a lot of jargons, BRD, FRD, wireframes, mockups, as is 2B process flow, smoke testing and all, right? So we want them to ask questions on these jargons now. So the moment you give these answers, there will be 2 more questions coming at you from the answer that you have given. And the good thing is that we have used terms only which we know. So first 10 minutes of your interview is controlled by you. Are you following? Interview usually lasts for 30 to 45 minutes maximum. So first 10 minutes, if you give this answer with full confidence, and you can take up to 2 minutes to 2.5 minutes to answer this, it's totally fine. This answer is going to be a little longer because you're going to explain someone your entire journey. There are different flavors of tell me about yourself, right? Like if you're applying for a very senior level position, then I would usually put more on the numbers. Numbers would be that, hey, I was working for this project, and this was the outcome of that project, and this was my role in that. But when I talk about those outcomes, I'm talking about specific numbers. This was $3 million project. When we rolled out the project, after that we made some profit, it went up to $10 million a year. So, but again, that is all not applicable for you all for now. When you start going into 2 or 3 projects, after that, you will have some real numbers to really talk about. Before that, this is a very spot on answer to showcase and use all the jargons that you have in your head. Okay. So I think this is the biggest question I want some of you to practice on the call right now. I would like to put you on the spot, or if you want to volunteer yourself, that's fine too. But again, I've not used any fancy terms. I've used every single thing that we've covered in the class, and we don't have to rectify this answer. We have to go in our own language and in our own flow, right? Because it should sound genuine when you're talking in the interview. Did you feel that I was taking enough pauses? I have not rectified this answer. Although I'm doing this from last 10 years, I have not rectified this answer. Every time, whenever I try to speak this, I will try to speak this in a different way, right? Because it should sound authentic and genuine. So who wants to try this? This is first 10 minutes of your interviews, guys. So if you are able to answer this even 50% accurately, it's a big win. And it's completely fine to make mistakes. I'm not looking for an accurate answer. My answer was not accurate either. If I will go for the interview, I'll probably refine my speech a little more than what I had said here. But this was just to give you context. Someone wants to try? Should I?
James, I need to drop off. I have another appointment.
Yeah, so, sure.
Okay. Thanks, everyone. Have a good evening. Bye.
Yeah, I'll send you the recording. Should I put someone on the spot?
I can try.
Okay, go ahead, Shrey. And guys, this is the fun class. This Thursday classes are not meant to be super serious or that way. It is purely casual class, just to build our muscles around the interview. Okay.
A deer in headlights doesn't feel like it's having fun when there's a car headed its way.
What was that, Abdul?
I said a deer in headlights doesn't feel like it's having fun when there's a car headed its way.
Cool. All right. So Shrey, go ahead. Take your time. It's completely fine. Take your time.
Yeah. You can ask me a question.
Yeah. So, hey, Shrey, we are looking at your resume, and I think you already spoken with one of my colleagues, and I'm so excited that we got to connect this week. Can you please help me understand what you're doing right now?
Hello there, James. I'm glad that we got a chance to talk about my previous experience and everything. So yeah, so in my previous job that I was doing it, and I was following. I was actually working with my team, and I was gathering information about the project that we were doing it, and then I was actually sharing with my team, and I was sharing with the stakeholders the information, and also collecting information from the stakeholders about the product. And then I worked then I deeply researched about the scope of the project, and what are we dealing with, and the design part. And I did, after doing all that, like we went through the flow charts, and the business required documents and functional required documents. And in that phase, like we did have a lot of meetings before creating BRD and FRD. So back and forth, just to to get the right information. And once we done with the BRD and FRD, we developed the software. The we went through the development part, and then um, um, and then yeah, and then once it's developed, we went through to the testing part, which is actually tested by the stakeholders and the business owners.
Okay.
And once the technical team have the developer, they have implemented the application, I've done another testing on that.
Okay.
And so while doing that, we also I was also maintaining the team, and what's the drawbacks, and what's the loopholes that we were facing within the project while implementing it.
Okay. I think you have got it. Of course, you need to refine your speech, and I do see, of course, and this is the first time you're answering, so I do not say that you're.
I haven't. I'm just trying, because
so one big thing about
discuss until the BRD part, like in the class. So after that, I don't even know like what's the development and the implementation and testing. And
that's fine. One big thing that we need to understand, being in this generation of pandemic, and like this millennial generation, right? We have to be absolutely confident. We have to absolutely be confident about things, even though we are doing things wrong. Okay, because that is really vital for everything that we're going to do. It doesn't matter whether we are saying right or wrong. We have to be absolutely be confident about whatever we're going to say. There is no escape from that one piece. And as we're going to talk this every week, I'll try to make sure that you guys have a really high confidence when you go for the interviews, right? And now I want two people to volunteer. One of them will ask the question, that person will ask the question, and the second person will answer that. The best way to learn about interview is to take interviews. Okay. If you are in the commanding seat, if you are interviewing someone, how confident you are, the same way you need to, when the shoes will be swapped, you have to be in the same shoes now. You have to be feel same way confident that you were before. So I want two people to volunteer, one who will ask the question and one who is going to answer that. And Shrey, really great attempt. I think your first 30 seconds of your answer was really good. After that, because you do not know what goes after BRD, it's completely fine. We understand that. But just for everyone's knowledge, what goes after BRD, there are three phases: development, testing, and implementation, right? Sorry, four phases: design, development, testing, and implementation. So just if you know, in design phase, what do? We define technical architecture, and we define high fidelity designs. Those two things happens in design phase. In development phase, all we do is we help developers understand what the requirements are about and make sure what they build is as per our expectation. Testing is when we work with testers and we really make sure that all the testing has happened. We perform user acceptance testing. That is the only role we have, and prioritize defects. Those two things is what been done by us. And then finally we launch after giving some training in the company and creating some user guides. That's it. So this is the story for after requirement gathering phase. So again, I'm looking for two people to volunteer, one who's going to ask the question and one who's going to answer it. No one has choice in this class. Sooner or later, I'll have to put you guys on the spot if you're not volunteering. So I'm first giving you a
If you
chance.
want, I
Let
can
me
ask.
ask question.
Okay, cool.
Very easy one.
I was gonna
Wait, rock, paper, scissors for that?
Say what now?
I'll answer.
Okay, so Abdul is answering and Hassan is going to ask the question. Cool.
You, and I think you had an interview with one of my colleagues actually. I just want to know what is your project now? What are you doing these days?
Hi, Hassan. I'm happy to do this interview and talk about my prior experience regarding this field. So in the past, I've worked closely and strictly with the project managers and the senior architects, and finding out what the business scope is and solution. And finding out from all the stakeholders what we're looking for in the program or app. And
Hey, sorry to stop you, Abdul. Can you please turn off your webcam and then talk?
yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Can you please start the answer again?
Yes. Hi, Hassan. I'm happy to share my previous experience in this field, and I'd like to start by saying that I had to work closely with project managers and stakeholders in regarding the business, and wireframes and mockups for what we were working on. Also, we looked through what was needed based off of user interface. And I think I'm gonna stop a lot here, guys. I'm sorry.
That's
I'm
fine.
a little bit behind.
That's okay, Abdul. Take your time.
Okay. Also, we had to design and then develop the app, in which we had to create high fidelity designs, which I worked on, the high fidelity designs and the wireframes. Then came testing and implementation by the other team, I guess. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay.
Good. I mean, you got most of the things, I believe.
Any feedback for Abdul?
He was great.
Guys, you guys have to be brutally honest. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
He was good. He was very good.
yeah, he started his step very good, and then
He tried
just-
and he
he
was
tried very well. Yes.
yes.
I think we should just work on until BRD part. That will be
that's
good.
fine. If you want to do
I
that,
think I
that's
need
fine.
Yes.
know more
That's
of
fine
the
too.
jargon, like more of the vocab. I need to kind of get down.
Yep, that's
And I
that's
have a
fine if you guys
feeling
want.
that if we do these practical, then it's all in a mindset that, okay, we have done this steps, then we don't need to memorize, and then we don't need to just fumble, it'll be all
Yep.
with the flow.
So we can go with one more round. That's completely fine. But I'm
Certainly,
looking for
that's
the
good.
feedback. I'm looking for the feedback for Abdul.
I like the
Did
interview.
I get hired?
I mean, if you want my opinion, I usually take interviews for people, hiring and all. You have to be in contact. Don't show like you're hesitant, or you don't show that you don't know what you're talking about. If you do that, that goes against you all the time. Is that right, Mr.
Yes. Why do you guys think that I had him turn off his webcam?
So he won't be nervous actually. You don't
Yes.
want to see his face while he's doing it.
Two reasons that he would not be feeling nervous. The second reason is
No lagging.
if sorry.
No lagging like
No,
like
that is fine. That lagging, even I do a lot. That lagging is not a problem. As long as you are in the flow, you think people know that you are thinking while you are lagging. Right? That's not a big deal. The second reason was if we do not see Abdul's face, what is he when he is speaking? Are we able to connect with him? Right? When you're giving interviews on the phone, people are not watching you. So when people are not watching you, how are you selling yourself?
The tone of your voice.
Yes.
I have done
What
it.
did you guys feel about that? The tone of the voice was confident, was nervous.
I mean, first 20 seconds was so confident.
Yeah, I felt the same way. So guys,
And
one
I
thing-
think I think he start to push too many things in short amount of time. That's what I was feeling it with his the way he was like placing himself in the interview.
I want to be honest, I had a bit of a cheat sheet. I was just looking at
That's that helps.
I was reading the notes while I was trying to read it. So that's why my mind was like two different places.
So I can give you a couple of tips, guys. When you're in the interview, try to, and again, try this first before screwing up your first interview. Try to walk and talk on the phone at the same time during your interviews, because when your body is moving, there is a biological reaction that you will automatically feel less nervous about things. Okay, and when your body is moving, in first 30 seconds or first 1 minute is the only time you need to get over of your nervousness. After that, you would not even realize that you're not even nervous after that anymore. So first 30 seconds to 1 minute is the only time where you will feel nervous, and if you're walking during that time, it will automatically take away your nervousness. My feedback to you, Abdul, would be, I think it was a brave attempt. I felt you could do a lot more when you're answering this, like in terms of your confidence. You are in general a very confident person, but I did not feel that same confidence coming through your answer. Right? As I said, when you're making mistakes, be brave about it. Do not worry that I'm going to make a mistake. This world has changed where people are learning after failing, and they take pride in that. Entire generation is changing now. We don't have to worry about this at all. If we are going to screw up one interview, it's okay. That's fine. I'll get the second one. I'm not too worried about that. Right? But we need to really push ourselves to the limit where we feel that, hey, I got this. And the biggest thing is, whenever you guys talk, try to talk a little louder. It automatically gives you a lot of confidence. And second thing it does is that even if someone is not listening to you properly on the phone, that person is forced to listen to what you are saying. Because if your voice is low, you are already not connecting with that person. Right? So at least when that person is even trying to not listen to you, but if he's forced to listen something, he will be able to connect the dots. We need to leave an impression where someone goes from the interview, like after 30 minutes of the interview, that person will remember you after a week. Oh, I had an interview with this person. How could we create that impression? That's the key here, right? The first thing is striking confidence right there and then. Connect with that person. So I know we are a little over than our time. Again, as I said, this is a casual meeting. I don't have any specific agenda. Do you guys feel comfortable to stay on call for 10 more minutes and do one more round of this?
Yeah, we want to listen to Savneet too.
Okay. And
Sure.
so who wants to volunteer? Who wants to ask a question? Who wants to answer the question?
Either way, I'm actually nervous because
I want
if
to answer.
Oh, that's great. Okay.
So who's asking? Sorry, Revant is asking the question and someone is answering, or it's the other way around?
Either way.
Revant, you said you're asking the question?
I will answer. I will try to answer the question.
Okay.
Sounds good.
So let's do this, right? Let's do a panel round. So we will have one person asking questions to two people, Savneet and Revant both. Who's going to ask the question?
That's
Asking the question is not that difficult, but it does require that confidence and that like that knack of connecting with person. Abdul, let's make
Before I start, can I ask you something?
Go ahead.
This is a brand new topic, so I am nervous. my problem is if I'm like, I have a hold of the topic and I know what I'm doing, I'll be confident on that. So just excuse me if I just try to fumble or something, like I'm going to
Same
turn
here.
off my camera.
No, you'll get fired.
Okay, Abdul, so I'll let you ask questions to both Savneet and Revant, and we
Okay.
can go from there.
The questioner doesn't know the question.
Tell me about yourself. Like whenever you interview, right? People are, even you are looking for admissions in school. The first thing they're going to ask you is, "Tell me about yourself."
All right, I will. So who's answering? Hassan? I mean,
Savneet and
Revant?
Revant.
Okay.
Okay.
Who's going first?
Uh,
I think we can go with Savneet.
okay, I'll go
Okay.
first. No problem. Okay.
Hi, Savneet. I'm just following up with an interview you had with one of my colleagues and just want to know a little bit about yourself and your experience.
Sure. Firstly, let me thank you for giving me the opportunity to, be a part of a great company and, getting me in for an interview. I really appreciate that. And let me tell you something. I have worked for a company and, I made wireframes for them, mock-ups, and connected with all the stakeholders, getting their approval for the initial project to having an understanding what are we looking at, and then was able to get in touch with all my teamwork and compiling a document for a BRD and just going around it, making sure all my team was at the same level as I am. And it was a back and forth process till we got to the development stage. I believe in teamwork and I will stop here. That's my motto.
Okay,
I would
Right.
just like to stop at BRD because I'm like
that's fine.
still,
That's fine.
yeah.
That's fine. Cool. Revant, you're up.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Revan. My
Hi,
name is
Abdul.
Abdul, and I'm following up with you regarding an application and an interview process you had with one of my colleagues. So I just want to know a little bit about yourself and your prior experience.
Sure. Hi, Abdul. Good evening. I'm glad for giving me the opportunity for sharing my technical background with you, Abdul. I have 5 years of experience working as a business analyst, where I did work over several domains that include healthcare, social media, financial sector. So I would like to elaborate in brief regarding my roles and responsibilities. I did collaborate with my project manager and other stakeholders for drafting documentation that includes business and functional requirement documents on a primary basis. Then I did collaborate with subject matter experts to reach in depth regarding project metrics and further having keywords. Then I did work with my developers with technical team to design a architectural content, build high defined diagrams. Finally, with the collaboration with release manager, I also participated in product launch along with evaluating performance using metrics. I can say that. Yes, I'm a little bit nervous. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
And guys, you guys don't have to apologize for being nervous. It's a part of your body's mechanism, and in fact, everyone's body's mechanism, right? Even I get nervous. Even I get nervous sometimes in front of you all. It doesn't have to be. We don't have to be apologetic for that. It's completely fine. So again, this class is to make mistakes, learn things. I'm not expecting you guys to be really expert on this one. Otherwise, you would have not reached out to me in first place, right? So quick feedback for Abdul, Revant and Savneet.
Um, I would think Savneet would be hired before Revan, but but a small bribe can go a long way, Revan, if you want. No, just kidding. I'm just kidding.
So
No,
what are
they're
you
both
expecting?
good. But no, both of them were good. I got an idea of what experience you guys have and like regarding like the position. I guess the only difference was, Savneet, I think you had a little more detail, which kind of gave me an idea, or like it was more elaborated, I guess, in a way.
Okay.
I'm surprised because I felt that the terminology he was using, I've not even heard about that, the matrix and other stuff. And I was like,
Oh,
he's
wait,
building up a
yes.
background and everything. And mine was just basic. I mean,
Okay.
So,
I
yeah.
think yours is right because you were actually look like you were actually saying something realistic because you were working in a project. Because if we're using those terms, that won't help. Like,
I don't know. That's what my question to James would be, because right now we are using the terminology that we have worked on and we know it's in our mindset. And I'm trying to connect with my audience, like you.
yeah.
So
So-
I like to have what am I dealing with? I like to have that mindset, whoever is in front of me. So I think, in my opinion, if he knew more than me because of the terminology he was using. So I'll let James answer that.
So-
I don't know.
So guys, first of all, there is nothing like one person knows more, another person doesn't. That I think we need to first get away from that mindset, right? Everyone has their own strengths and weaknesses. The purpose of this sessions is not to discourage someone or encourage someone. I think it's not to discourage someone, but it's to mostly encourage every one of us, right? Each one of us in the call. So I would not like to really compare one student versus another student. Each of you has your own strengths and weaknesses, and each of you has your own caliber to even crack the interview. So I would not like to go on that path, first of all. And this is what my take was. I think when you started talking about it, Sanit, you did sound confident to me, at least. And I think you were clear in what you were saying, but I could see the struggle. Or I felt the words that you've used and the way you answered things was not structured enough.
No.
And the reason I'm saying is I think you started with the wireframes and mockups to make a decision. We don't need that.
Okay.
Right? We need project charter. When you do the feasibility analysis, what do? We look at the problem statement. We look at the solutions. We look at the success matrix, and do some user research before we come up with a decision. After that's taken care of, you start writing the business requirements document, which is where you create the process flows and wireframes and mockups and all those things. That doesn't happen in the first phase. So I feel that answer was not structured enough. You were trying to use some jargons, but again, I think it just did not go well. But I could see the bright side out of it, which was you were confident and you were clear in communication. So you were in your control when you were talking. You were in your control. That was a good move.
And I just want to say, Revant, don't take my feedback as anything. I'm like an interviewer that just got hired because my dad owned the company. So just think of it that way. I don't know anything.
And Revant, even if you feel bad, we will give you a chance to interview Abdul sometime soon, and you can probably take your
Yeah.
you can probably give it back to him. Just joking. But yeah, so I personally felt with Raven's answer, I think he was structured, he was confident, and I do see he was struggling to put more jargons in. I think he went in that flow of design, development, testing, and then launch. I think he started and then he got stuck. I think I would have really loved to see he would have continued for a few more minutes. I think he was on the right path, and he did use some jargons. I was not looking at him because he did not have his webcam turned on. I did feel he was confident when he was talking. All of us have to be more confident every day, of course. But I think the confidence level that I recently saw in Savneet and Raven was something that we should really have, at least when we are going for the interview, right? And I believe that's the feedback I have. But see, guys, 30 minutes before you did not even know what to answer. At least now you know the structure to answer this question. This question I'm covering right now because you have to practice this question for at least a month now.
Okay.
So every class we'll be covering this question and more questions.
Sorry, what was that?
I said every class will be covering this question plus one more question.
There are other questions as well, and the purpose. And once the classes are over, after 5 or 6 weeks, we are going to do panel interviews together. Like each one of us will be taking one person's interview. and we are gonna have the sessions several times. So we all really open up, right? Our mind will open up and our fear will go away. Shrey, you were saying something?
Yeah, I have a question. So don't you think it's gonna be like pretty sketchy when you like using a lot of terminology and all
No,
the,
it's not.
because
So
if you are an experienced person, like you will talk about something basic, What do you think?
I kind of was following that,
See-
like kind of your experience more than just like the
Yeah,
fancy
I mean,
words.
if you're experienced and you give an interview, you don't really.
You went mute.
looks like
We
he
lost
dropped off.
Shrey.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, when you're like really experienced, you don't actually worry about like the terminology and the studies of BA. Like that's what I'm trying to say. I don't.
That's
I'm
an
not
excellent
sure.
question.
I'm just asking you like what would be the answer? Like the terminology is easy to use. I mean, I can learn like in a day everything. Tomorrow I will be ready for the interview. But it's hard to face the random question when it comes like, so what was your problem and what did you do with that? So
That's the exact reason we are going with terminologies. We don't want them to ask us random questions. We are at least killing 2 or 3 random questions with this approach. And let me tell you one thing. You're going to interview with different level of people. You're first going to talk with a recruiter. Then you're going to talk to a recruiter's manager. If both of them likes you, then you're going to talk to someone in the company who's going to take your first interview. If that person likes you, then they're going to arrange a panel interview with a couple of folks where you will have developers, you'll have scrum master, and you'll have a quality analyst, or probably some other business director or someone on the call. Okay, so this is how the interview is going to go through. So to go through first 2 rounds, which is recruiter and recruiter's manager, right? You have to use so many jargons that recruiters do not know anything. Okay, guys, like they've just interviewed people and they just had some perception this is what the BA should be doing. If you do not use jargons, if your answer is lacking in those jargons, and if in the job description they're seeing some keywords, if you're not saying that, they're not going to push your resume forward. Okay, so I can tell you of incidents where what I've done when I get a call from recruiters in the past. Literally, I open up job description, I read it line by line. I'm literally reading it. I'm not even using my brain. Why? Because recruiters are wired in a different way. They're looking for keywords. They're looking for your confidence. They're looking for your communication skills. Once they feel good, now they have to present you to the client, right? So that is their preliminary step. And they feel good, then they will talk to the recruiting manager, and he's going to look about the same thing. They do not know what is BRD. They do not know what is FRD. They do not know what is wireframe, what is mockup. So this is all the way. This is your place. You can be so confident. You're talking to someone who doesn't know anything, right? But you don't have to get worried. Go ahead, Samneet.
I have a suggestion. I
That was a good
usually, when I
example
go
of
for an interview, I actually research the company to the point that where is it headquartered, when was it formed. So any interview, like I have been always saying that, oh, this was your company has been found for this, and I'm impressed. So they actually get so impressed by my research. They're like, oh my God, she's done her research.
That's a really the reason they get impressed is because they know that someone is really passionate about working in this company, as opposed to just taking this for a money job, right? It's not for a monetary reason. And we absolutely have to do this for our jobs interviews with clients. But I think with recruiters, you may not get that much chance because you just get a call on the fly while you are driving or doing something. You just get a call. And so if you use these jargons, recruiters will love you. Hey, you know so much, man. That's how their reaction is, because they are into a job where they want to find people who have this knowledge first, right? Knowledge and attitude, 2 things they're going to look for. So both of them we are showing through our answer. Once we go through the round where it goes to the client, the reason we are using jargons is because, again, when you say basic stuff, right? You can talk about something else if you want to tell me about yourself. But we don't want that. We want to really focus on key jargons. I want him to ask me those questions. This is the mind game I'm playing with them, right? I want him to ask me only questions that I am going to answer from, nothing else, right? He would have his own list if he has it. That's fine. But most of the times, 30% or 40% interview is driven based on what you're answering, because when you answer, it will prompt him to ask something else. So by throwing all these jargons, we're at least telling them, hey, we know so much. And again, there could be an argument that, hey, as an experienced person, why am I using jargons, right? I think it's been 12 years. I've done probably, if I were to just put a number, I've interviewed more than 70 or 80 people in different roles. 70 or 80 people across business analysts, product owners, scrum master, including the product directors. I've interviewed like all these roles, right? I can tell you 80% of the times I do get these jargons on the call, but people are talking about this, then I've done this, I've done this, I've done this, right? If you're applying for a director level role, at that time your game is changing. You don't have to talk about the tactics. You talk more about the strategy. But where we are going to apply, strategy is far away right now. We're not talking about strategy. We're talking about tactical role where we are going to work with team in getting things delivered, right? And there is a strategy involved, and I'll tell you what kind of strategies we have used as a BA and PO. And we're going to talk about that as class progresses. But our goal is to really sell ourselves our knowledge first, right? We don't have a basic foundation yet. So our goal is to sell our knowledge first. And if you guys want to try this, you can do this in 2 different ways. When you get 2 different recruiter calls, change up your tell me about yourself answer, talk about basic in one and talk about the jargons in one, and see which one gives you more success. And it'll instantly tell you which one really works better for you, right? Again, understand, interview is not about what you know or what you are saying. It's all about how you are saying, right? This is all like all the fluff word that we put here and there, like we all the jargons, this is all to present ourselves that, hey, I do know knowledge, I do have a knowledge. At the same time, I'm extremely confident person. I have abilities to drive team. Those are 3 key things you want to sell on. I can drive teams. I can really speak well in terms of communication and have structured answers. And third is, hey, I do have knowledge about BA, if you're just wondering. Those 3 aspects should be covered in your tell me about yourself. Make sense?
Mhm.
I can tell you there are a few students, don't want to give you high hopes because not every student is same and not everyone's luck is same. But I at least had like this 6 or 7 students out of several students that I've trained so far in last 8 or 9 years that always comes in front of my eyes. Like these people have cracked like 6 out of 6 interviews within a month, right? And when I vividly remember how they were talking or what they were saying is what I'm sharing in this class as well. So just take it as a leap of faith for now. And when you start actual interviews with the recruiters, try to plug and play which answer works well for you. It'll give you more confidence in what to say and what not to say. And just don't go by my words at this point, right?
I think Abdul will be one of them in our batch.
I think all of you, I think you all have good potential. And to be honest, nobody can say who is that person or who will be that, right? It is not about, it's about 2 things. It's about luck and it's about your hard work after the classes are done. So I think if you are really, really persistent and you are really hungry to get that job, right, you will not be yourself. And when you're not yourself, that's the time when you do wonders in your life because you're not in your comfortable zone. So I would love to see that hunger, that chase, and go from there. But let me get back. I think we went a lot over on our class. I'll just quickly show you how to use Teams. And let me start sharing my screen. Can you look at my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So when you're logging into Teams, I think if you click on that link, it will tell you to put your email ID and create your account. Once you create that account, you will land on this page. Over here, if you see, we have activity, we have chats, we have Teams, we have calendar, we have calls, and we have files. Okay. You will be giving access, you will be having access to this group, February 2021. In this group, there is a channel called General. I'm going to add a few more groups here, like interview practice, like the business requirement or functional requirements related question. I can create these channels here, like subgroups over here. Okay. In this group, if I send a reply to anyone, so everyone will get the message that there is a reply being sent here, and you can reply to this message right here. When you're replying, you can attach a document, you can attach emojis if you want to, and you can probably format it in terms of bullet points and all if you have to. So you see this there is a Word document kind of formatting here. So you can really format everything here. This is a widely used tool in the office, and it will be really worse to see that you are able to clear the interview and everything is working, but you're not able to handle Microsoft Teams. This is the basic expectation, not even an interview question, right? So we really need to know how to use it. It's more like you know how to use WhatsApp, right? In your daily life, you need to know how to use Teams in your office. So over here, you can send this message. Once you send this message, people can reply to this, people can like, people can attach the smiley if they want to. On the top, you see there is a file section here. Under files, all the classes documents that we're covering in the class will be added here. I've created a folder for class recordings. So this recording is like you just play this recording here if you want to. Just click on it, it'll automatically let you play it here. So in that way, everything is organized here. You don't have to go back and forth in your email, right? This is where you'll open the recording and let's go back. And over here, when you want to add a new document, just go to new, create a folder or add a Word document or upload a Word document. More like whatever you do in your C folder in your laptop, right? Once you add a document here, I have a link that I can share with everyone, copy link, and I can share with everyone, or I can open it. It's a Word document. I can open that in Word browser. Whenever I make any change there, that same change will reflect for all the people who are looking at the document. It's more like Google Drive. Okay, and this document is automatically saved in SharePoint behind the scene. So in our office, how it works is we have like 50 different channels here. Every day I walk into the office, there are 50 different channels here. In each channel, there is some message for me. One for production launch, one for testing, one for development, one for one project, one for another project, right? I have 50 channels here. For each channel, I will go and check what is the latest things going on in that. We also have a channel called celebrations. Like what one thing we did good in last 1 week, we have a celebration channel as well. So I look at that, I reply to those messages, and over here, I come to a specific file, open that, and edit that file in real time where anyone can see the change, like more of Google Drive. Okay. I think someone just messaged me.
I think I joined it.
Oh, okay. So I'm trying to get away from Zoom, and I'm not comfortable yet because Zoom provides an excellent recording capabilities. So my goal is to, in future, right? My goal is to make sure that I am able to, okay. My goal is to make sure that I'm able to create the meetings from Zoom, from TeamViewer. There is an option to create meetings here, like you can do from Google Calendar. Once I create this meeting, I can automatically record and meeting will be saved here after the meeting is ended on its own. You guys don't have to wait for my email after that, because I think it will take about an hour. Meeting will be automatically recorded and you all will have access to it right after that. So it's a pretty interesting tool. And earlier people were using Slack in Office, Slack and Skype. Skype has been bought by Microsoft now. And like 70% offices uses Microsoft Teams now because of the flexibility and the things that they offer. It's really, really amazing. Once you start using it, you'll fall in love with this tool. We're not going to use any more email threads after this, unless it is required. Make sense?
Yeah. How do we create another group? Like if we want to.
It will be only given access to admins, and I'm the admin. So if you want any specific group, let me know. And I try to control this group and make sure that we don't have a lot of clutter here. And if there is something really valuable, I'll try to create that group, and we'll set the expectations that what kind of communication should go in this group, right? So looking forward for you all to sign up to the Teams, and this is all free, by the way. So you don't have to worry about it. This is all free. You can also access this from your phone. You can access all the recordings from your phone and still go and view those recordings on your own, or review any document that you want to. So you have all the accesses on your fingertip. All right. Go ahead. Someone was saying something. Okay. So please go ahead and register yourself in Teams. If you have any questions, if you're struggling to join Teams, let me know. I'll help you with it, and making sure that you are able to set up the Teams properly. So Hassan, if you want to create a new account, it will not work. I think I've used the email ID that you have shared with me. And if you want to use another email ID, let me know. I can add that email ID and send you another request. But you have to use your email ID, create a new password, and then log in.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Cool. All right, guys. Thank you for staying over by 30 more minutes. But this is how it works in the office as well. But looking forward for a class on Saturday.
I'm
Take
still
care.
staying, right, James?
What was that?
I'm still staying, right?
Yeah, you can.
Because we were talking about.
Yeah, I need to talk to you about something. Yeah, so
Yeah.
let me get catch up with you. Yeah, I can call you on your phone.
Okay.
Or if you want to just be on this Zoom call, that's fine too.
Okay.
Rest all of us, I think, can drop off.
Okay.